Good morning. I would like to call the Highway and Building Committee meeting of Thursday, August 12, 21 to order. Roll call, please.
Mr. Carrico?
Present.
Mr. Kinzinger? Present. Mr. Hess? Present. Mr. Tholen? Ms. Weber? Present. Mr. Featherling? Present. Mr. Long? Present. Mr. Dennell? Mr. Hunter? Here. Ms. Bryan? Here. Mr. Collins? Present. Ms. Hudson? Present. Mr. Smith?
Present.
Mr. Alexander Hildebrand?
Present.
Mr. Wheeler? Mr. Searoy? We have a quorum.
Thank you. Today should be a pretty straightforward meeting. And I don't have any public comments in my desk, so there's no public comments. So I'm gonna go ahead and have a motion and a second. Mr. Long to approve the minutes. Second, Mr. Hunter. We're gonna do a voice vote. Everybody in favor signify by say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Next on the agenda will be Mr. Rogers with the highway.
Okay. Good morning. I do not have any bids or lettings this morning. I do have some bills to pay for county engineers' pay estimates. The first one this morning is for the county's 2021 General Maintenance Supplement 1. This is payable to Innis Flint. This is for the paint and that we're using to stripe the roads, and that amount is $77,653.80. Next is for the county's 2021 General Maintenance Supplement 3. This is payable to Grasso Construction Company. This is for oil and chip work that's been done in the county, and that amount is $399,786.24. Next is for the county's 2021 General Maintenance. This is a pay estimate made out to Vulcan Construction Materials. This is for road mix and chips picked up at the quarry with our trucks, and that amount is $3,486.19. Next is for Pembroke Township for their 2021 General Maintenance. This is payable to Gallagher Materials Corporation. This is for surface mix picked up at the plant with their trucks, and that amount is $390.52. Next is for Pembroke Township for their 2021 General Maintenance Supplement 1. This is equipment rental that will be paid to the Pembroke Township Road District Treasurer, and that amount is $2,412.72. Next is Auto Road District for their 2021 General Maintenance. This is payable to Vulcan Construction Materials. This is for road mix picked up at the quarry with their trucks, and that amount is $255.78. Next is for the Kankakee County General Maintenance for 2021. This is GM non-MFT. This is payable to Gallagher Asphalt. This is for hot mix asphalt resurfacing. This is for the work that was done on Warner Bridge Road north, from 113 north to County Highway 9, and that amount is $245,062.87. Next is for the county, section 21-00000-00-BI. This is payable to Engineering Resource Associates. This is for bridge inspections that were due, and that amount is $1,885.00. And lastly is, this is a two-page pay estimate for section 18-00305-00-BR non-MFT. This is payable to Toby's Construction and Cartage. This is for the bridge that's being constructed just west of Bonfield, and that amount is $55,266.43.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna need a motion in a second, Mr. Hunter and Mr. Long. Roll call, please. Can I have a roll call, and then you can have a open for discussion and questions?
Are you gonna approve it without?
Can I do that? No? Okay, go ahead.
Okay, just got a question. Mr. Rogers, you know, I talked with you some time ago about, I wanted to have a project in my district painting the addresses on the curbs and stuff, and then talking about getting paint. You indicated that it's been very difficult getting paint this year.
Yes, we still do not have all of our paint, and we're about 7 weeks behind because of the paint should have been delivered in, we usually get it in March or April, and we just started getting it in July, and we only have about half of our supply.
Okay. Thank you.
Ms. Bryan, 6. Can you get the microphone, please?
Does the paint have to go on when the weather is a certain temperature and humidity?
Not really. We just don't want to do it while it's raining. So yeah, that's about the only thing. We can't do it when it's really, really cold out, so we'll probably be doing it as late as we can this year, but we might not get all the edges painted white, and it all depends. We do some work for other agencies also, and we've kind of warned them that it may be late before we get to them.
Okay.
Is there any other question? Any other comments? Roll call, please.
Mr. Carrico?
Aye.
Mr. Kinzinger? Mr. Hess? Ms. Weber? Mr. Featherling? Mr. Long? Mr. Hunter? Ms. Bryan?
Aye.
Mr. Collins? Ms. Hudson? Mr. Smith? Mr. Alexander? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Okay. Next on the agenda, I have a resolution declaring of surplus equipment at the Highway Department. Kelly, I have a little PowerPoint with pictures of what we're looking to so yeah, if you go to the next one, this is a 2007 International 7400 tandem dump truck. It will include a 2010 wing plow that's mounted on the side. It has 115,346 miles on it right now, and we have been using it. It's just showing its age now, so we're proposing to declare that surplus. Next is 2007 MONROE salt spreader. It still works, but it is showing its age. The next one is a 2006 LAWTON reversible snowplow. There are a few issues with the cylinders, but and it's old. It's seen a lot of miles. Next is a 1999 MB B53T pull broom. This is one that you pull behind a truck. It's just old. It's seen a lot of miles also. Next, we always clear out any miscellaneous shop equipment that doesn't work, but we have to declare it surplus, and any obsolete parts that we have that we've gotten rid of the equipment and the parts don't fit anything that we have, so we'll be declaring those surplus. We have some desk chairs in various conditions. Next is we have some straight chairs that are in various condition, a couple side chairs, and a table chair. So next month we'll have a garage sale. If this is approved, all items that are declared surplus will be listed and sold to the highest bidder. The bid packets will be available on September 1st. We'll advertise in the newspaper, and we do send the packets to all the 17 highway commissioners, and I'd send them to anybody else if anybody has a suggestion to send the bid packet to. The garage sale will be next month at this meeting on the 16th at 9 a.m. The highest bidder will have 5 days to pick up the items, and anything that's not sold will be disposed of according to the county resolution.
Okay. All right, so let me do this. Let's have a motion on the second, and then we just did the discussion before the vote. So there will be, did you make a motion, Mr. Kinzinger? Can I have a second? Mr. Hunter, thank you so much. Any questions, any discussion? You, Mike.
So I'm a little confused with the two terms. It's a sealed bid and a garage sale. How do they work together?
We call it our garage sale because that's how the public knows it. A lot of the people that follow this, when are you gonna have your garage sale? So,
It is a sealed bid.
it's a sealed bid to the highest bidder, yes.
Thank
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, Mr. Hunter?
Thank you. Got a question. having been a former legislator on the Kankakee City Council, we have donated various equipment. We've declared it surplus, but I remember giving a fire engine to Pembroke Township. How might you donate some equipment to another unit of government?
We have not done that. They are more than welcome to bid, and because these are highway funds, but it's up to this committee how we do that. It's not up to me.
What I was thinking about in terms of a community benefits initiative that you might take, and I'd always encourage Mayor Hodge and now Township Supervisor Payton to make sure that he attends the County Mayors Association, where they have a lot of all the mayors, and they have a lot of equipment, and maybe you can put the bite on them, you know, for some stuff. But I was just thinking in terms of Sam. There's a new sheriff in town out there, and he's honest as the day is long, and he probably wouldn't even step on an ant. But unlike his predecessors, plural. Got a question, and I don't know if you know right off the top of your head, how many miles of highway do you maintain?
265.
Oh, Lord. Thank you.
Any other question? Any other comments? Okay, so there's gonna be a voice vote. So everybody in favor signify by say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed, the same sign? Motion carries. Oh, okay, go ahead.
A voice vote, or should we have a individual vote on this due to the fact we're eliminating or selling county equipment?
We can.
I don't know if it's necessary. If it isn't necessary,
Well,
don't
I
wanna
think
do
it could be either way, but.
Okay, then leave it.
Yeah, it could be either way.
But there's no dissenting vote, so.
No, could be either way.
Getting rid of county property and spending money. Yeah, it
You
is.
can roll call if you want, yeah.
I don't want to.
Would you like a roll call?
No, I just want to make sure we didn't do something wrongly.
Not according to what I have done.
Very good, thank you.
Okay, no.
Mr. Hess, yes, are you making a motion to amend the agenda?
Make a motion, we amend the agenda and move up the purchase of the new truck to the highway department.
Sounds good. Can I have a second, please? Ms. Hudson, Ms. Hudson, thank you. Everybody in favor, signify by say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed?
Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
Thank you. This year, we are getting a truck that we ordered, probably, we won't get it until probably January, that we ordered probably October. That's the turnaround time for these things. So we are proposing to make an order for a 2023 tandem dump truck with county equipment specified on it. And hopefully it'll be here for the winter of 2023, and it'll be paid out of 2023's budget. Currently, that truck there's no truck on the state bid, but we will purchase it through Sourcewell or the NJPA, National Joint Purchase Program, and we'll get a quote that way and purchase the truck, but we need to get it ordered in order to have it in probably 15 to 18 months.
It does, in general, that works better than putting out the specs and having it bid.
Especially with Sourcewell, because there are multiple dealers that have access to Sourcewell.
Okay.
But yeah,
Sourcewell is a mechanism by which dealers are notified of this particular purchase.
Sourcewell has done, they access a price that's already been determined to be through a letting.
Say that again?
They've done a letting, and so these dealers have access to that price that has been through a letting. It's basically, it checks the box for a letting.
Okay.
Anybody else? Hunter?
Yeah, just, now with respect to those issues that you just articulated, that'll be, we won't get it until whatever, you specified, and it'll be paid out of 23 funds. Are there other vehicles that you need to get authorization for?
Not at this time.
Okay. What about your other department heads? I'm just saying it's gonna take forever and a day to get the stuff. And I
Yeah,
just
especially these big trucks. We've had this problem. It's not just a recent problem. It's been the past probably 4 or 5 years this has been happening. So that's why we have to do it this early, because the first time it happened, there was just a delay. We weren't certain about the delay, but now the industry is, hey, it's going to be delayed. And that's what we've heard the last 3 or 4 years.
And you said there's no state bids either, huh?
There's not a state bid for a tandem dump truck at this time. There might be here in a couple months, but you know, we'll determine that when it needs to be ordered. But I just want to get the go-ahead to do that.
Thank you.
Mr. Heads?
Mark, I'm sure that this must be in your budget already, and we just need a
I have
nod
it
or
inked
a
out.
motion.
Yeah, I have it inked out in my plan. I do have a plan
Right.
of spending my funds.
I would make a motion, we go ahead and get it on order, purchase it.
Mr. Hess and Mr. Long? Second? Okay. Roll call, please.
Mr. Carrico?
Aye.
Mr. Kinzinger? Mr. Hess? Ms. Weber? Mr. Featherling? Mr. Long? Mr. Hunter? Ms. Bryan?
Aye.
Mr. Collins? Ms. Hudson? Mr. Smith? Mr. Alexander? Motion carries.
Thank you very much.
Is that it, Mr.?
That's it.
Thank you very
All right,
much.
thank you.
Have a good day. Mr. Andrews? Good morning.
Morning. What's that? Oh, I'm thrilled. All right, facility dude report for the month of July. We had 135 work orders in the system. Pretty typical month from that aspect. We'll move on to the financial report that you have in front of you there. If you recall, at the last couple meetings, I mentioned there were some expenses that were incorrectly coded to a couple of the line items. So I got with Steve in finance, and they were able to move some things around. So what you see here is, year to date this year, we're at 666 and change. Last year, we were at 637 and change. So overall, I'm, pretty happy with where we're at year to date. We have had a lot of repairs. The biggest overage you can see is in 52-100. We're at 73 versus 40, and those are just many repairs that I brought to this committee. I mean, garbage disposals, HVAC repairs. You go down the list. So that's really the big overage there. Maintenance contracts we're pretty much on par with where we were at this time last year. Miscellaneous services, that's repairs by outside contractors, and that is a tough one to control, so I'm happy that we're actually below where we were at this time last year. And then miscellaneous supplies, 56,850, we're about $10,000 below where we were at this time last year. Vehicle fuel, 81,300. I code vehicle repairs to that as well, so that's why we're significantly above where we were. You see we're at 5,200 versus 27. We've had tire issues that had to be replaced. We've had our box truck that services the courthouse has had issues. The courier van has needed some repairs. So a lot of the overage there is attributed to the cost of repairs on county vehicles that we use. So if there's any questions, I'm happy to take them.
Mr. Hunter?
Yeah, just from my own information, how do you bid your fuel?
We use the county fuel station.
Okay. Now, how is that done in terms of macro? I mean, you got your sheriff's cars, your stuff, highway. How was that done?
I think Mark's gonna bail me out here.
Yeah, Mr. Hunter, we have the fuel station down on 801 South Schuyler.
Yeah.
And we have every vendor. We reached out to all the vendors in the area, and they're all on our list. And every time that we get low on fuel, we send a bid form to them. to everybody and ask everybody to bid on, it's normally like 8,000 gallons of unleaded or, you know, $7,500 of diesel fuel. And we take the bids, we get them in the next morning, it's delivered the next day, and that's how we do it each time.
I'm not, I hear you, but I thought there would be like one bid and you put all that fuel over on South Schuyler, and I just would think that you have a better unit price, but I know things have gone up. But
Are you asking, we follow the market basically, is, you know, all of them, I mean, the bids are half a cent off normally between the first and second low. So, I mean, it's a very detailed price, and we get it in. We have a system over there that each employee has a code, each vehicle has a code, and then we bill the departments according to their use.
Yeah, all I was thinking about is if you had one particular successful bidder on providing, you know, the fuel, be it unleaded or diesel. You don't do it that way in terms of having one bidder or successful bidders on diesel and unleaded?
No, we do not do it that way.
Okay. Just wondering.
Thank you, Mark. Moving on, if there's no more questions, we'll move on to the building report. We'll start here at 189. As all of you are, I'm sure, wondering, the 16th is Monday. We're scheduled to start the elevator replacement here at the building. Yeah, exciting, isn't it? It's only been a year almost. So I've been working with Coney Elevator is the contractor that was awarded the bid, and then PSI was awarded the bid for the work by others that needed to happen in conjunction with the work from Coney. And that was all bid. We had multiple bidders, et cetera. But that was done, I think that was done 7 or 8 months ago. So I've been working with, Mark has been a tremendous help in getting traffic control set up for out on Schuyler. There will be a period of time where we have a crane out front. I think it's about 4 hours last time I talked to PSI. So the highway department is going to assist us in shutting down a portion of Court Street. Mark's already communicated this with the state, so we're good there. There's no issues. So we're coordinating everything for roughly a Monday 8 a.m. start here at the building. I've emailed all the department heads because the Court Street sidewalk will be shut down while the crane is being used. So again, I've got some things I need to work out still with Coney and PSI, but that'll happen today and tomorrow, and then we'll be ready for start on Monday. Any questions on the elevator? No? Okay. Cooling system for the IT room in the basement. The bearings and the shaft. The bearings were shot and the shaft broke. That was on Monday or Tuesday of this week. So we had a vendor out. We had to install a spot cooler because the temperature that we had outside the last couple days was not conducive to IT equipment. So we had a spot cooler put in only for a day, I'm happy to report. We got the shaft fabricated, we got the bearings, and they're here today making the repair. That's the unit that is actually inside the basement in the IT room that cools all the equipment down there. So that's ongoing as of today. If you came in, you probably saw one of the contractor's vans parked in the parking lot. Concrete here at 189, there are some areas that I would like to address, and I'd invite all of you, when you walk out the building, just take a look. I'm going to get some numbers for next meeting that we can mull over, but that's really all I have at this point on that. Courthouse basement plans have been actually finalized. We've gone back and forth. It feels like many times, but I feel pretty confident that, working with Doug Bright and then the Chief Judge Kramer, that we've got a plan that is workable, and it's a good plan. So I feel really confident in that. And then all of the paperwork, Ben Wilson's been a tremendous help in getting everything submitted to the state, so that's all been done as well. So I'll need to follow up with Ben here probably into this week, first part of next, to find out if we have any updates on the grant monies that we've been looking for with regard to the basement pending remodel that we've been talking about. There's also some concrete at the courthouse that's showing its age. I got a couple quotes for removal and replacement, and I wanted to make the committee aware of it. It's roughly 600 square feet in many different areas that I wanted to get addressed. Proposal 1 came in at roughly 10,000, and proposal 2 came in at 18,480. So significantly over the first bidder, or the low bidder, if you will. So with the I want to just talk to the board about this, see what the pleasure of the board is. But these are some concrete, like I said, that's showing signs of age that I would like to address at the courthouse. So are there any questions or concerns on that?
Mr. Hunter?
Yeah, I'm just got a question on the entryway on Court Street. It looks a little, I don't know, the threshold or whatever in front of the door there looks a little tattered.
In front of where?
Here on the entryway on Court Street into the building.
Oh, into here.
Yeah, this building.
You're 100%?
Yeah, I noticed that
Yes.
Again today, and I said, man, maybe we need to do something. I know.
That's what I'm referencing.
Oh, okay. Something else too that was very enlightening and it was very informative. You mentioned, how old is Jerome Combs now?
17, I think. 17 years.
You mentioned that it's not a new building and things are starting to fall apart there. I'm not sure if you have a plan, because you really can't prognosticate when stuff's falling apart. You mentioned some of the kitchen stuff, the garbage disposal stuff, and so forth. And I know you used the word mulling over some things. How do you deal with stuff like that? You fix them as they break down, or what?
Well, we've long discussed at this committee the idea of preventative maintenance, and we do some preventative maintenance. All of our critical infrastructure, our generators, our software for our HVAC systems, we do have preventative maintenance agreements. Elevators, we have preventative maintenance agreements in place for those systems. The issues that I'm having is specifically with our rooftop units. I mean, those are 17-year-old units. I've on my list here, when I get to public safety, we've got an issue with a coil at public safety that handles the sheriff's admin area that needs to be fixed. They're mechanicals that are 17 years old. I mean, I think at this point it's justifiable to assume that we're going to continue to have these sort of issues.
Right. What I appreciate is that you bring that information up to us, and I don't think you've ever tried to hide anything. You've been very proactive as far as telling us, about the issues. I mean, this is an old building and an old equipment and so forth, as you have indicated. And as time goes by, the old jail and Jerome Combs, they do have its challenges.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. So,
Mr. Hess?
Any other comments?
Mr. Hess?
Thank you, Chairman. Wes, isn't the city responsible for the sidewalk out in front of the building?
Around the streets, yes. And they've addressed some of the issues that we've had over there.
Didn't we work in partnership with them on some of the work over at the courthouse?
Yeah, there were some sidewalk issues that were their responsibility, and I discussed it with the mayor, and they were very quick to rectify them. The stuff that I'm speaking of is on our property.
On our property, okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wes, is this concrete and the repair that you mentioned here, is that within your budget?
No, I mean, I don't have anything like this budgeted. So typically on these sort of items, it's just simply a head nod, say, yes, we agree. We want to make sure that, you know, the concrete around the building is tight, and, you know, that's typically what we do on that, so.
So what you asking for is for the committee to head nod yes,
Yes, yeah,
go for it or not?
okay, very good.
Is that okay with you guys?
Yes.
All right, thank you. Let's see, anything else here at 189? I think that's it. Basement plans, I guess I was on the courthouse, that's where we're at. So, August 31st, I've been working with Mr. Jim Schreiner at the Pledge for Life. The courthouse will be lit up purple August 31st for a week for International Overdose Awareness. That's it over at the courthouse. Annex, we're met with Anita and Tom Latham last week over there. We're going to be adding, we had an inspection done at the building by our insurance carrier, and they recommended a few things. We're going to be adding a camera at the back door. We're going to have a panic button installed at the security desk. Also met with a vendor to address the drug testing bathroom that we use over there at the annex, and some modifications that were proposed. You know, I sound like a broken record, but we've had air conditioning issues there as well. Those have all been fixed. So that's it over at the annex. Old jail, just more of the same, leaks, air compressor issues. The air compressor stuff obviously runs the thermostats in the building, so when the air compressor goes down, none of the thermostats work because they work on air pressure, but those have all been fixed. This is something that we've talked about at this meeting several times. So the air conditioning that handles all the building is through a chiller that's outside, a very large chiller unit. The air conditioning that is for the CCTV, which is I also call master control, and then the nurses station is shot. It's been shot for years. It doesn't work well. It's something that I know I've talked to this committee before about it. I'm pretty sure my predecessor had done the same. I got 2 quotes for the replacement of that unit, and what they've quoted is a ductless mini split system. They're becoming increasingly popular. It's an electric system. You don't have to run new ductwork for it. So I got 2 quotes for the system to cover a dual zone system to cover CCTV and the nurses station. Quote 1 was $18,550. Quote 2 was $18,400. So those are the 2 quotes that I've received. The unit that covers that area right now, I want to say, is probably 20 years plus. That covers that area. So just want to see what the committee's pleasure was on this item, if there's any discussion.
Ms. Bryan?
How many square feet is the area of the nurses station and the CC?
If I had to guess, you're probably looking at 600 square feet.
600?
Yeah, there's 2 areas. The CCTV is not a very large area, and then the nurses station, yeah, I'd say it's probably about 600 square feet.
Did you say 1,800 or 18,000?
18,000.
600 square feet?
Mm-hmm. You got to install the units outside, you got to run the lines, and it was 2 union companies that bid it.
Okay, I'm just thinking.
Ms. Kinzinger?
Yeah, I'd like to suggest that we move forward with the bidder in it. There was $100 difference with the bidder, which Wes is most comfortable. Whether that's $100 more or $100 less, I don't think it matters. I would rather choose the bidder that's the most qualified.
Yeah, I feel fairly comfortable with the bid and the fact that, you know, we got
With
2
both
and they
bidders?
were both
Bidders,
within
you're
150.
comfortable with both bidders?
Yeah, I mean, they
Then
were
I'd
within
take low bid.
$150 of each other. So,
Low bid.
I mean, it is. I've priced some of these units for my own house, and, you know, depending on, you know, whether you go with a name brand or versus like a generic type product, you know, you could be looking at as much as $5,000 to $6,000 just for the unit itself. and then, you know, again, depending on what you go with. I mean, we want to go with a quality unit, you know, so, and the rest is probably a lot of labor, I would assume. So, but yeah, this is something, like I said, we've been kicking this can for 2 years at least.
Mr. Wheeler?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. If you were to get a quote on adding the UV, say virus killing technology to those ducts, I think we can use ARPA money for the whole thing. So I would suggest you go back and get, because then it's air quality related rather than just replacing an air conditioner. So if you can get that added to it, because, well, good reasons to do so. We're not using general fund money, which is thin. So I don't know how difficult that would be, but I don't want to hold you up. See what the possibilities are. And
yeah, I mean, we've been waiting for a while, so I mean, if I got to go back and have them, you know, quote that, I certainly can. And then at that point, we would just go with the low bidder.
Fair enough.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. Mr. Hunter?
Yeah, you know, I know we brought this subject up time and time again, and I'm not an expert regarding sandblasting the old jail. And I know we held this off until next year. And, you know, I'm not a gambling man, but I would assume that the price or the quotes that we get next year will be a lot more than what we've received this year. Is that a fair assessment?
I'm not sure it is, you know, and the reason why we put it off was specifically with items like this. I mean, $18,000 for the air conditioner. Out at Jerome Combs, we're looking at probably 60 plus for the new UPS, that the uninterruptible power system that I have to have installed in master control. You know, the concrete stuff that we just referenced. So, you know, just me trying to be fiscally responsible, you know, 18,000 here, 10,000 there, 60,000 there, you know, 15,000 for power washing, you know, so from my standpoint, it made a lot of sense to, you know, table that until next year, given just the amount of expense that I've had. So that was the thought process.
And duly noted, but it looks like I won't say what it looks like, but perception is very important as well too. But I'm just saying that I would have thought that would have been something we did, but because, you know, every time I drive by there, I just said, man, that looks like blah blah blah. But
I agree 100%, and it's something that will get done. I just thought, again, trying to be, and hopefully the public appreciates, you know, the responsibility and the thought process that goes on here within my department and with you folks, you know, sitting here as board members. So I mean, that was the thought process. It's something that I want to do and something that I think we can do next year. I just thought it was responsible, you know, given the nature of expense, to put that off.
But you just heard I was going to bring up, and I'm asking a lot of questions, but I'm that kind of person. But you just saved a whole bunch of money just now, because I was going to ask if there was some kind of mechanism you could put in to kill the bugs and so forth. The chairman just gave you an out in terms of saving probably over $20,000. And if you got that savings.
Oh, 100%. But my expenses and needs don't stop there. I mean, I've got 14 air handlers in this building that are pretty much all shot. I've got, you know, the annex is, you know, if we're going to be spending money, I've got bricks and mortar type projects, you know, mechanical improvements that in my estimation would come far before any cleaning of a building. And that's how I've looked at it. And, you know, we have major needs that, you know, as I try to prioritize things, that, you know, I would like to see those mechanicals repaired or fixed or replaced, you know, concrete issues addressed, UPS systems installed, you know, before I go spending money on a cosmetic type, you know, something like that.
I don't know if that's cosmetic, but all I'm saying to you, with all due respect, I respect your expertise and the information that you bring to us. I mean, it's very informative, as I said before, without being redundant. I'm just saying that perception means a lot, and I think in this community as well too.
Oh, 100%. I agree. So it's something, like I said, that's on my radar for next year, and it's something that I fully anticipate doing.
And you'll bring forward the bids you got now, current, versus what's going to be proposed next year. I'd like to take a look at those.
Sure, understood.
Thank you.
All right, old jail, that's it there. JCDC, public safety, as I mentioned, we had a issue with the coil out there. It's a carrier unit. It's obviously original to the building, so 17, 18-year-old unit. Not the first issue we've had with it. So the coil's going to have to be replaced. It's going to be a significant expense. I'm not sure exactly where. I'm waiting on the proposal to come in on that. And to my point again, discussing with Mr. Hunter, flooring out there is shot. I mean, it's, again, 17-year-old flooring. The carpet is it doesn't look good. There's painting that needs to be done. There's vinyl base that needs to be replaced. So,
Did you say looks?
Looks bad?
Looks. Okay. Cosmetic?
Oh, okay. You got me. You got me. So, but absolutely, it's on the interior of the building. Something that I would like to do. Again, I don't know if the funds are going to be there or not to do it. This is kind of an unusual time for me. I mean, we have money, but we don't have money. We want to spend it wisely, etc. So, this is something that maybe we can have some more conversations about. I can talk to the chairman to figure out, between him and the sheriff and the board, if that's something that we want to. That's something that we want to do. So that's all I got.
Mr. Kinzinger.
I just want to go on record that I appreciate what Wes has done and the prioritizing that he has done as it relates to the work in the county. And I'm very appreciative. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
And I wanted to expand that a little bit I also like to thank his department for all the assistance on something here. On a meeting yesterday, the sheriff mentioned about the inspection report for the 2 jails, and I actually end up crossing and highlighting a little bit here and check mark some of the things there that I believe, and I asked him at the beginning of the meeting if that was his department that was in charge of those things, and he said yes, he confirmed that. So that say that thank you so much for helping with that too, because that was the inspection of the 2 jails with passed 100%. And you had something to do with that when it comes to the LED lights and being installed, the exterior lights and being installed, and a few other things out of that list from the sheriff's report of yesterday. So thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Thank you.
Okay, is there any old business to come before this committee? Any old business to come before this committee? Any new business to come before this committee? Any new business to come before this committee? Mr. Hess?
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn by Mr. Hess, second by Mr. Federland. Everybody in favor signify by say aye. Aye. Anybody that want to continue to stay here?
No.
No? Okay, motion